Howdy, my name's Warren White. I'm from Wilson. I want to show you my worm bin. I just made that last week. Just coated it with a little bit of linseed oil. Now these worms are good worms. I wish you could smell it in here. Maybe these YouTube fellas will make a scratch and sniff for a camera. Because when you smell it, you'll understand this is good soil. These worms break down all the leaves and the trash. I put a bunch of grain in here that got wet. Look at that. Oh God, look at the big size worm that is. Oh yeah, that's a big worm. Look at, it's a big worm. They like the grain. I put eggshells in here. Good eggshells. Now where's a little worm? There's a little baby worm. A little baby. A little baby worm. Worms will double their population every 90 days. They break down all the trash in the yard. They feed them all of our stuff out of the refrigerator that we don't eat. I put lemons in here because we have a lemon tree. The lemons are acidic. So what I do is put the eggshells in where the lemons are. Try to neutralize the acid a little bit. Those worms go after it. If you're using an implement to stir your worms, use something with blunt edges so you don't hurt them. And then I go in slow so they have a chance to move out of the way, because I don't want to hurt them. There's a nice worm. I've got night crawlers and I got red wigglers. Look at that wiggler. And they're active. They're happy worms. Oh, look at that. Oh, big wormies. Try to keep them piled up here. Look at that. Now that worm right there, I got in my yard and put him in there. I don't know what kind he is, but he's different. But that's alright. We like diversity. Diversity is important. Especially in the worm world. Happy worms. Look at the size of that one. That's a nice worm there. Oh gosh, yeah, he's a big worm. I've been eating a lot of that grain, you can see. I like those eggshells. Put eggshells in your worm bin. They like the eggshells. That's a red wiggler. See the difference? A red wiggler will eat his weight every day. Break it down. They're hermaphrodites, which means they ain't a he or she. They're a shim or herm. It takes two of them to make little ones. Oh yeah, that's a red wiggler. Now watch how active they get. Oh, he might be cold. The smell is just great. Just great. And the soil is dark and rich. It's not ready yet to put on my garden because the leaves are in here. There's still some eggshells. I don't even grind up the eggshells. I just crush them with my hand and throw them in. That's good enough. Now you notice this isn't sopping wet. It's just moist. I imagine if I squeezed it hard, it'd wring out some water. That's a red wiggler. They're a really active worm. They break down a lot of stuff. Put him back in there. You can see all the grain that's in here. It got wet and I threw it in here. That's a little baby worm. There's a big old red wiggler. That's my wife Wilma. Hi Wilma, what you doing, honey? She thinks I'm crazy for having a worm bin. Yep, here. Yep, she thinks I'm crazy. There's a big one. There's a big old night crawler there. I put night crawlers and I put red wigglers because the night crawlers go down deep and the red wigglers stay up high. But we'll see what the night crawler says here. You can see him in there. Look at the size of that one. That's a big worm. He's a happy worm. Hey there, bud. I think that's Floyd. That's Floyd. Where's your other half? Where's Lloyd? Let's see, maybe it's Lloydette. Is that Lloydette? There's a little Lloydette right there. That's Lloydette. And that's Floyd and Lloydette. They're happy worms. They're a little cold out here still. When they start warming up, they get real active. I throw them on top of the pile. Just because I like looking at them. See how they're doing. Check the soil. Make sure it doesn't get too acidic. That's what those eggshells do. And those worms hover around those eggshells. See that big one? There's some eggshells right there. And he just sitting around those eggshells. That's a night crawler. Maybe that's Floyd. That might be Floyd right there. Floyd and Lloydette. Herman. There you go. I put the night crawlers up on top of the pile and they go down deep. They stir it up. Those red wigglers are voracious eaters. They like it. Now that's pure nice soil right there. On this side of the bin, So there's that side. This side here is all that grain. I put dirt over it because it's starting to smell fermenty. So I put the dirt over it, and what I'll do is when this gets broken down, a couple months, I'll lift this board, scoot the pile over towards it, and those worms will crawl out of there and go into there. They'll start eating on that grain, and as they leave and the babies hatch out of this one, they'll move over. And then I'll take all that soil and put it around my garden. I started this project in this plastic worm bin right here, and it was alright for a couple months. But they don't breathe well because of the plastic. In this wood box, they seem to be doing a lot better. And it doesn't get so wet. The water is able to drain through it. Let's get into the pile here now and see what we got. I hope you're ready for this. You're going to see some worms here pretty quick. There's some worms. There's a lot of worms in here. I've had this going about 60 days. They really like those leaves, and the leaves capture all the energy from the sunlight and the air. And they really like, look at the size of that one. That's a big worm. He's a happy worm. That's a big worm. That'd catch a big fish. I think that's an African nightcrawler. It might be a European nightcrawler. I don't know. I ain't no worm expert. I just like building the box. Seeing them work. Another big one. Might have been the one I had. He fell down there. Alright, get ready. Here's another one. Here's another pile we're going to pull out. I go slow. I don't like raking through it and just pulling them apart, because I don't want to hurt the worms. They're my friends. I don't want to hurt my friends. Look at them. There's an old... Oh, that's an onion peel. Look at them clumped around that onion peel and that grain. They really like that. There's a stick I don't need. You can see pretty much how moist the soil is. It's not dripping, but it's pretty moist. We're going to get another big slug of them right here. Look at that. Oh yeah, they're happy worms. Look at all those worms. Red wigglers, European night crawlers. And I'm just being gentle with them. I don't want to hurt them. They don't like the light, but I haven't hurt any of them. I just pull them nice and easy. Let's see what we got here. Oh, that! Look at that. Now that's a lemon right there. And the lemon, it's acidic, but as long as those eggshells are in there, it doesn't hurt them. But look at all of the red wigglers and the... Now here's two worms that are wrapped up together. They're having a little fun. You can see them wrapped around the clitellum. And they're going to have baby worms here in a little bit. Unfortunately, I disturbed their soiree. But they'll get back together. They'll have another good time. Now this worm I pulled out of my yard. This is not the same kind of worm. It's different. The red wigglers I got from Uncle Jim's Worm Farm. They're in Pennsylvania, I believe. And I'll put a link to him on this video. But hey, when they arrived, they were really nice. They do a really good job, and if you want to get started with this, I suggest you go to that website and get them. He ran a special. You could get 2,000 red wigglers and 250 European night crawlers for free. Now, those are big worms. That's a 6-pound worm right there. Well, maybe not quite that big, but pretty big. A big worm. Let's see what this other handful gets us right here. Come on now. I don't want to go too hard. I don't want to hurt them. Look at that. There's a lot of worms in there. Another one of those lemons. And they're just working. Oh, that's onion. But they're just working it over, and the smell is just great. Look in there. They're all happy worms. The red wigglers like to hang around each other. There's some eggshells. I put some sand in here too. You can see the sand. Worm's got a gizzard, like a chicken. And then gizzard needs a little bit of grit in it so they can chew on the fungus that they're eating. So you need a little sand in your dirt. You don't put sand in your dirt, the worms aren't going to be happy. And it doesn't take much. I just throw, when I put leaves and stuff in here, I'll just throw a handful of sand with a banana peel. Look at him in the banana peel. He's all happy. He's not happy I'm disturbing him, but throw a handful of sand in when you put your food in. And they'll enjoy it better. It helps them break down the victuals. See, they're hanging. I laid a layer of sand in there, and look at them. They're laying in that sand. You can see the sand. And that's where they come to get their grit so they can grind up the food they're getting. So you want to make sure you put that sand in there. I don't add any water because the lemons are really full of liquid. They got lots of water in them. And that seems to be enough. More eggshells.